I got this comment on one of my last videos, and it really just made me kind of sit back and think for a second before I answered. And then while I was thinking, I realized the answer is going to depend on a bunch of different factors. So in this video, we're going to go over how you can build muscle in a calorie deficit, how you can actually lose fat without eating in a calorie deficit at all, and then when it just isn't possible to build muscle in a calorie deficit at all. First, we're going to start by going over the approach that gets you faster weight loss, but doesn't necessarily get you the best muscle growth. Then we'll go over the approach that's going to get you the better muscle growth, but doesn't get you the fastest weight loss. But there is a pretty big catch to both that we're going to go over at the end of the video. If you're new here, welcome, and thanks for spending your time with me. My name's Noah, and I've been a full-time personal trainer for the last 5 years after graduating from my Bachelor's of Kinesiology. And I'm just trying to cut through all the bullshit that's out there in the fitness industry and simplify things so that you can lose weight in the easiest way possible. And if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and dive right in. First off, some of you are probably going to disagree with me. I'm just speaking from my experience of working with clients over the last 5 years as a PT. But I think I want to make this an entire playlist on my channel just answering your questions. So if you have any, feel free to comment them down below. So let's start by going over that quicker way of leaning out as you build some muscle. This isn't ideal, but if you're just starting out, it is possible to build a little bit of muscle as you're leaning out. But there is a pretty big catch to that statement, because what most people are going to do when they set out to try and lose some weight is starve themselves eating as little as possible to lose weight as fast as possible. Then they're going to add hard cardio to burn as many calories as possible. But that just isn't needed for weight loss. And I debunked that in one of my past videos, which I'll leave linked in the description below for those of you that are interested. But if you're trying to build muscle in a calorie deficit, that's one of the worst things you can do, because there's a very specific way you need to go about it. Because when you first start out, you're going to get what we call newbie gains. And this just means that you're going to make progress much faster than someone that's been doing it for a long time. And that's what makes it possible for you to build muscle as you lean out in the first place. But that only happens if you're doing the right things with your diet and your training. First, you need to prioritize your protein intake, because if you're not prioritizing protein, you're going to have a hard time building muscle, whether you're in a calorie deficit or not, because protein is the building blocks for your muscle. Let's think of it this way. Could you build a brick house if you didn't supply the builders with any bricks? Probably not. That's what trying to build muscle is like without eating any protein in your diet. So to do that, we want to aim for a minimum of 0.8 grams of protein per pound of your goal body weight. If you can eat more in a day, that's great, but this is a great minimum to get you started. And for those of you that are too lazy to do the math, if your goal body weight is 200 pounds, that's a minimum of 160 grams of protein in a day. And when it comes to our calorie deficit, we're only going to do 200 to 300 calories max on the high end. This isn't going to get you the fastest weight loss. But when you're trying to build muscle in a calorie deficit, fast weight loss just isn't the goal. So if your calorie intake to maintain your weight is 2,500 calories a day, you're going to be eating 2,300 calories to 2,200 calories a day on the low end. And we do it this way for a couple of reasons. One, you need to have room to hit your protein goal. If your calories are too low, you're going to have a very difficult time hitting your protein target for the day. And two, you need to fuel your body for your workouts, because at the end of the day, food is fuel. And if you're not fueling your body enough, you're not going to be able to lift with enough intensity to build muscle. So that was the faster approach to losing weight as you build a bit of muscle. But now let's go over the approach that's going to be much better for muscle growth, but you're going to lean out a little bit slower than that first approach. So this is called a body recomposition. And that's just a fancy way of saying you're going to eat at your maintenance calories so you can build muscle as you slowly lean out. And with this approach, there's going to be two big focuses to your diet. One is the same as the first approach. You need to hit your protein target because you need those building blocks to build muscle. And two, you need to stay at your maintenance calories very consistently. Know if your maintenance calories is 2,500, You don't need to hit 2,500 exactly every day, but you do need to be within 100 calories of that either way. And I can't stress this enough, because if you're consistent with your diet 6 days a week, but on day 7 you blow over your calorie target, you might build muscle, but I can guarantee you're not going to lean out as you do it. Now, that huge caveat that I mentioned at the start of the video is how you train. And there's a few very important points when it comes to your training. First is your training intensity. You need to be training within 2 to 5 reps of failure, because if you're just showing up and going through the motions, you're not going to build any muscle. And if you don't know how to do that or what that looks like, I went over the process in my last video explaining the differences between weight loss and fat loss. So I'll make sure to link that in the card at the end of this video. Then there's how much training you're doing and how often you're doing it. So let's go over an exact workout blueprint to get you started. We're gonna start by doing 3 full body workouts a week. This is gonna give you a chance to hit every muscle group multiple times a week. But you also wanna take 24 hours to recover in between each workout, because the muscle growth actually happens in the recovery, not during the workout. Then on those days between your training sessions, you're just gonna focus on hitting a step count. This is gonna speed up your recovery because it gets the blood flowing, keep you focused towards your goal without it being a big commitment like doing some hard cardio, and it's gonna help you burn a few extra calories. And we're not doing cardio on those off days for a couple of reasons. One, our goal is to build muscle, so we're just gonna focus on building muscle. And two, because our focus is building muscle, we just don't really give a shit about the calories you're burning during a workout. And I break down why you don't need to do cardio for weight loss in one of my past videos, which will be linked in the description below. And I know it seems like I have a lot of plugs to my past content, but I promise those videos are gonna change how you see weight loss. And if they don't, just feel free to throw me some hate in the comments. Now, I can't answer if this is ideal for you, because any good trainer is gonna answer most questions with, "It depends." But I do answer all my comments, so if you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. And as promised, here's my last video going over the differences between weight loss and fat loss. If you're still here, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate you. Until next time, peace.